And welcome everybody. It's Monday again, Action Monday, and welcome everybody to No Labels, No Walls, plus We Are One hour. This is a very special hour because we have Victoria Barnett from Design Justice with us today. And the host today, Rafael Borges. How are you, Rafael?
Thank you. I'm doing well, Marcus. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can. We are so glad
So
that you are with us today.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here and glad to be your host today. So I will go through the Zoom room here and say hi to everybody. So let's start with yes, Michael is easier here. How are you doing, Michael? Michael Birman.
Yes, I am doing great. Michael from Strimberg Laboratory from Los Angeles. So excited to be here. And yeah, looking forward to great Action Monday.
Could you say a couple of words about what does design justice mean for you?
Oh, design justice. I think it's designing a better future that has justice for everybody, not just the few that can afford it. So yeah.
Thank you, Michael. So let's go now to Lassie. Have I said your name correctly?
Almost. It's Lasse.
Lasse. So you're talking from Finland, right?
Yeah, I'm from Finland, Helsinki.
Welcome.
And nice to see you all.
And could you say a couple of words? What do you think it's design justice about, or what does it mean for you?
At the moment, I don't have an opinion yet. I just joined because I know this event is happening today and came to see and watch.
You're welcome. Thank you, Lasse. So let's go now to Stevie. How are you doing, Stevie?
Welcome. Hey, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
And could you say a couple of words? What do you think it's design justice about, or what does it mean for you?
Well, I'm really hoping to learn more about it during this session. It's a phrase that I've not come across before, but it's one that interests me. And I guess it's about making design and the principles of design accessible for everyone.
Thank you. So let's go to Leila. How are you doing, Leila? Leila came earlier today here. Are you doing good? I guess you need to unmute your phone, your microphone. Yes.
Okay. I enjoyed last week. Yeah, it was interesting.
Thank you. Do you like it? Would you like to share with us what do you think it's design justice about?
Maybe Steve can maybe explain it. I'm not really sure.
No, it's fine. So we are gonna make sure that we
don't know.
No worries. Welcome, Leila. So let's go now to Cindy. Have I said correct your name, Cindy?
Hi, yeah, I'm Cindy. Welcome. And I'm in Espoo, Finland, and I'm walking home in the almost rain. I'm fine. Everything's fine. So good here. I'm looking forward to the show.
Okay. Would you like to say to us what does design just means for you?
Or... I have no clue. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Thank you. Welcome. So
Thank you.
Let's go now to Sunil. Hey, Sunil. Welcome. Welcome again. How are you doing, Sunil?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Sunil Shastri. I'm an independent consultant in ocean and environmental governance, and I live in the United Kingdom. I'm from India.
Could you share with us a couple of words about what does design just means for you, or what do you think it means?
I guess it is. I mean, this is my sort of simplistic thinking, because I'm here to look, listen, and learn. But my simplistic thinking would be design justice is to do with things that are designed by people who are kind of disadvantaged or marginalized, and then things become better for them. For example, to give a simple example, most of the things in the world are designed by right-handed people. So if a left-handed person starts using a pair of scissors, it's difficult because it doesn't cut properly. So I think that would be part of design justice, in a very simple way.
Thank you, Sunil. Nice to hear from you. So now we go to Alistair. I'm always confused about your name, but have I said correctly? Alistair.
That's perfect. Yes, Alistair. Yes, thanks for
Welcome.
that. Yes, I'm joining you from Aberdeen in Scotland. Yes, I thought Sunil's given probably the best example of design justice as far as for all that I know. So there's not much I can add from here, but I'm looking forward to hear more.
Thank you. So now we go to Mark. How are you doing, Mark? Welcome.
I'm good, thank you. I'm streaming from Glasgow. I'm liking this project. It's more interesting and keep me going. Something new for me. Thank you.
Okay, do you have an idea what does design just means for you?
I like all the artwork they've been doing. I like about learning more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So now we go to Keith. How are you doing, Keith?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. So today I brought, I think this should be called No Worries, No Walls this week. So I brought Frida Kahlo with me.
Nice.
She's,
Nice
I didn't even realize I brought her with me, but she's up behind me because I'm in my daughter's bedroom. So she hasn't been here for a while. I'm streaming in from Glasgow, like Mark. And design justice, I don't really know what it means, but I imagine it means designing consciously and deliberately designing things in a way that reduces inequality.
Thank you. So now, Mary, how are you doing, Mary? Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm Mary from the Strindberg Laboratory. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Finland. And you want to know what I think?
Yes, a couple of words about, what does it mean for you?
Yeah, well, I was thinking, I think there's a lot of answers that I would say, but I think designing the world that it would be, there would be justice for all, that or not, so that the world would be more equal and just and in multiple of ways. So that's, but I'm so really excited to learn more.
Thank you, Mary. Welcome. Now we go to Tim and Bridget. Nice to see you both there.
Hello, I'm Bridget, and we're coming to you from Kentucky in the USA. And design justice, I mean, I've heard a lot of good definitions, I think, hypotheticals, I guess, until we know more. But it's interesting that there's a whole focus on it. I think that's, and to kind of really hone in on just that. What does it look like?
Thank you. And Tim, do you want to say something, Tim? Or?
Sure, I'm Tim. I agree. I think the idea that the end user gets to define how they want to process an experience or a product to look versus, say, the efficiency of an institution or a sales department or a effort that might be more I don't know, organizationally driven and centralized is how I would think about it.
Thank you. So now we are almost done here, but still, Jordan Fleming. Can you hear, Jordan? Welcome.
Yes, hi, thanks. I'm a student from California, excited to learn more. I think design justice is about being mindful to not reproduce current structural inequalities when designing things and being conscious to change that.
Thank you, Jordan. So we go to Kiki. Can you hear, Kiki?
Yes, hi. Thanks
Welcome,
for
Kiki.
hosting today. Thank you. My name is Kiki. I'm a perspective design student. I'm calling in from Minnesota. And I'm really interested in how design intersects with justice, specifically social justice and environmental justice. And I think it's kind of overarching in all of those departments. So really excited to learn more today.
Thank you, welcome. So now we go to Peter Bland. I guess you just joined us. How are you doing? Hello, Peter, can you hear me? Hello, Peter? I guess there's something in the microphone. So we go to the next one. Maybe we come back later. Nathan, how are you doing, Nathan? Can you hear me?
Good, yeah. Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm from California. Interested in learning more about this, but I guess it would be about not reproducing structural inequalities in our societies and our designs, reducing inequality.
And now, Nisli, welcome, just joined us. How are you doing, Nisli?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm doing good, thank you. How's everyone doing?
Oh yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Could you say just a couple of words? What do you think it's design just means for you?
Oh wow, design justice. Just on the name, just on the words. I think it means sort of taking the time to really look at what the needs are and created a certain justice system that could cover and protect all the people that are sort of subject to it.
So we are almost finished here. Hola Oromo, have I said correct your name? Welcome.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, yeah, sorry. I was trying to figure out how to not join from my work account, but I couldn't figure it out. My name is Boniat. I'll change it. What are we doing? Just saying our names and why we're here?
Yeah, and a couple of words. What do you think it's design justice? What does it mean for you?
Oh, okay. So I have no idea what it means. That's actually why I'm here. I just saw I heard about this from a different design oriented panel I was at. So I thought I'd check it out, see what's up.
Okay, welcome. So last but not least, Peter, can you talk now?
Hello, my name is Peter Bland from BMix.
Welcome. Welcome, Peter. I guess I have gone through everybody. Suki, can you hear me, Suki?
Hi, sorry, just to say Suki's not confident to chat.
Oh yeah, I'm so okay. I remember.
Good.
But Michael from Scotland.
Yes, Michael, welcome. Yes, welcome, Michael. How are you doing?
Hello from sunny Scotland. Yeah, I'm sitting here in my shorts. It's nice and warm here. And then I woke up. So yeah, it's nice to see everyone again. Hopefully you're all well, and yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you. So now I pass the ball to Victoria, our co-host today. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me and for having the Design Justice Network be a part of this. It was really awesome to hear all of you share the ideas or thoughts or the things you've been thinking about in terms of design justice. And I would say that all the ideas that you shared are totally correct. And I guess I will kind of give an overview of what it is, how it developed, and just more information, like in terms of, for folks that said, I'm just starting school, like maybe there's ways you can incorporate it into your school. And we'll talk about ways to maybe incorporate it into your work and just learn in your life how to incorporate some of these principles. So I'm going to do a screen share because I have some visuals so that you can see and kind of follow along. And I'll try not to talk for too long because the other part of today is to maybe do breakout rooms where we can kind of talk more one-on-one with each other around the stuff that I will share right now. So what you can see in front of you right now is just the current Design Justice Network logo and the website. And so if you want to go there to find out more information before or after or during while we're talking today, that's there. It's also in my background picture in case you forgot, and we can paste it in the chat. So I'm going to start just with a quick overview of what is design justice, because as everybody was sharing, there's so many different ideas, and all of those ideas totally make a lot of sense. But in a very kind of brief definition, the way that we talk about it is a framework for analysis around how the design of different socio-technical systems influences the distribution of benefits and burdens between different various groups of people. So that could be the built environment, it can be objects, it can be images, interfaces, it can be like furniture in your household. Basically everything that we use or create is somehow designed with a specific intention behind it. And so design justice is an analysis of how those benefits and harms affect different types of people. And this is a Venn diagram that we often use just to explain a little bit about design justice in terms of those benefits and harms. So fundamentally, it's about the distribution of those benefits and harms. And what you can see in front of you, there's a red circle at the top, and it says who was involved in the process. So when we're designing things, we're always talking about who's involved. And then there's a purple circle to the left that says who was harmed, and a green circle to the right, which says who benefited. So when we're talking about design justice, we're talking about all of those aspects of whatever the designed product or item is. And in terms of those benefits and those harms, the image that you can see in front of you right now is looking at a conventional design process, so not a design justice process. And so in a conventional design process, what you would see is that the benefits of the product or the item or the socio-technical system tend to go to those who have more power, and the less benefits goes to those who have less power. So if I used kind of a real world example, if we thought about, for example, Apple phones or Apple as a company, it's a big giant global company, and most often the benefits of the things being created or made would be going to the people with the most power, like the CEO or the people who are doing the UX and UI design of the iPhones, for example. And I'll go to the next slide. And so this is also another conventional design project or process. And when we're talking about the harms tend to go to those who have less power in the situation, and less harms go to those with more power. So when thinking about harms and creating Apple products, for example, there are people who work in the mines to create the batteries that go inside of the phone. And so those people are often more harmed, even if they may receive the benefit of purchasing an iPhone, for example, they are still the ones who receive more harm and have less care, whereas those with more power have more of those. So this is just a visual example of another conventional design process. So where you can see those pink bubbles or the pink dots in the middle, they are the people with the most power who are part of the design process of whatever the product or thing is that's being designed. And those green or cyan colored dots on the outside are those people with the less power that are left outside of that design process. So they don't get decisions around how something is designed, where it's designed, who it's designed for. They are left out of that process. And so when we're talking about design justice, we're talking about bringing in the people who are most affected or most marginalized or most left out of the decisions in a design to be part of that process and actually centered within that process. So all of those green cyan dots are there in the center, and they are the folks that should be making the decisions around what is being designed for or with them. And those pink dots are also involved in that process, but it's more inclusive to have everybody be part of it. And so some of you mentioned that when you were talking about your examples. So it's a really important difference in terms of what a normal design process would be and a design justice process. And I will also say that it's not an easy process. Design justice isn't always an easy process to just clap your fingers and implement. It does take work, it does take time. But what design justice is also a growing community of practice that focuses on these equitable distribution of the benefits to allow for folks that are part of those processes to have meaningful participation, and as well recognition of community-based Indigenous and diasporic design traditions, knowledge, and practices. So depending on where you are in the world, Indigenous or diasporic might mean something different, and that's really important to acknowledge. Based here where I am, I'm in Toronto, Ontario, and I realized I didn't introduce myself, so I apologize. I will do that in a second. But traditional Indigenous land here is often left out of any decisions, and it's actually, that's why colonialism has caused people to be displaced or put into little sections or communities. And so part of the conversation is bringing in those folks who have been drastically affected. And so I will go to the next slide, but I'll also quickly introduce myself. I'm so sorry. So my name is Victoria and I'm based in Toronto, Ontario. And I'm talking about the Design Justice Network, which is an international network. So people are based all over the world that are part of this in some way, shape, or form. And so what, I hope that's a good enough introduction. I work, part of my time, I work to support the network as a coordinator to help support the various initiatives. And then part of my time I work from home. I'm a graphic designer and a web designer, so I do lots of different things. But a huge part of my work has been very much influenced by the Design Justice Network and the Design Justice Principles. And I'm pasting that link that you can see on the screen there. This is literally just for reference if you want to look at later. But to explain a little bit about the network, it started in 2015. And that's the picture you can see here with a bunch of folks sitting at a table with papers and pencils in front of them. And about 30 or so people took place in a session called Generating Shared Principles for Design Justice. And the goal of that workshop was to move beyond more typical kind of design phrases of design for social impact or design for good, to help challenge designers to think about how good intentions are not necessarily enough, to ensure that design processes and practices become tools for liberation, and part of that session was to develop principles that we could use as design practitioners to help stop that reproduction of existing inequalities. And so for myself, just to give kind of a relevant example, I've worked as a graphic designer for more than 10 years now. And in 2015, when I was part of this session, I think I was questioning my role in design as a graphic designer for a long time. And coming out of that session and developing ideas and principles by which I could use in my work to kind of say that I am doing social justice design. That's how I always kind of identified myself, but there were no proper words or principles to follow. So coming out of that session where lots of different people developed these principles, and I'll share them in a second, it helped give me a framework and kind of work on how I could to tell people about the type of work I wanted to do and share that with the world and use tools to help myself develop those skills I was wanting to. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to share the design justice principles, as there are 10 of them. And if anyone is interested, we could take turns reading them together, because there are 10 and each one will come on the screen as you can see them. So if anyone wants to volunteer to read the first one, we could read them collectively together. Would anyone want to read it?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
We use design to sustain, heal, and empower our communities, as well as to seek liberation from exploitive and oppressive systems.
Anyone can jump in for the next one if you want.
We center the voices of those who are directly impacted by the outcomes of the design process.
We prioritize design's impact on the community over the intentions of the designer.
Review change as I don't know,
emergent
from an
accountable,
accessible, and
collaborative
processes rather than as a point at the end of a process.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
We see the role of the designer as a facilitator rather than an expert.
We believe that everyone is an expert based on their own lived experience, and that we all have unique and brilliant contributions to bring to a design process.
We share design knowledge and tools with our communities.
We work towards sustainable, community-led, and controlled outcomes.
We work towards non-exploitative solutions that reconnect us to the earth and to each other.
Last one.
Before seeking new design solutions, we look for what is already working at the community level. We honor and uplift traditional, indigenous, and local knowledge and practices.
Thank you so much, everybody. So those are the 10 principles of design justice, and they are being used all over the world in various types of design or collaborative work. And what you see right now is it says become a signatory. Right now, there are over or approximately 1,300 signatories, meaning people who've signed on and said that they've committed to using these principles in their work. And so that's the link. I'll share that also in the chat if you want. But if those spoke to you in any way, and we're going to use them now in our breakout rooms, but if they spoke to you in any way in terms of the type of work you do, you can sign on as a signatory and use them in your work. And they actually exist in a couple different languages. I think there's 6 languages right now, but we're always more than open to having them translated into other languages. So just before we jump into the breakout rooms where we're going to use the principles, I will do a little bit about some of the work of the network, and I don't want to take too long so we have time to talk to each other. But this is one thing I do want to share for the international community, as in, like, I'm here in Canada, some folks are out east, some folks are out west, and people are really connecting using both those principles and the network. And a lot of people are connecting by creating local nodes. And we define local nodes as just a local space for members to grow and use the design justice principles in their work. And when I say that, I think there are 11 local nodes right now. And I think that folks are doing different activities based on where they are. So I have one in Toronto, and we've been doing a book reading club together, especially given it's COVID right now. You can't have in-person meetings, but we've been connecting around these principles and just kind of sharing our work with each other. So there is opportunity if people are interested to create or join some of those local nodes, for example, in Finland or where some of the other folks are from. I heard some people say they're from Scotland, and there is a Scotland UK node, so maybe you're already connected. But yeah, so there are nodes that are connecting, which is really amazing to see. And as I mentioned, using the principles is definitely not an easy task, but it's a task to kind of work towards. So I think that's how people are connecting. And then I wanted to share this because the network itself has events, so many different events from the various local nodes. But one bigger kind of event that we host monthly is just a local nodes connect. So people join that call from all over the world based on if they're part of a local node. So there is an upcoming one. It's the first Thursday of every month. The only problem is the time zone thing. It's been difficult because there are people all over the world that we've tried to keep it kind of in the center, but we definitely are missing a lot of folks out east in the world. So we're thinking of hosting 2 of those in a month. But in case you're at all interested or inspired, that is there, and we'd love to have people join. And this is just some information of normally what happens at those meetings. So it's people like meeting, talking about those principles and validating. So talking and sharing how things are working where they are locally and how to change them. I'm going fast because I don't want to take too much time before we break out. And what I will also do is I'll give the link to these slides at the end so that you can all have that for reference as well. And I think some people are messaging me in the chat, and I'm sorry I haven't read them, but if it's important, just say it out loud. And these are some key resources. Again, I'll share this so you can have them, but we have some key resources for how to get involved and engaged if you're at all interested. So now we'll go into small breakout rooms so we get a chance to kind of talk one-on-one with each other. And I'll ask the question of just think about how this principle applies to your own work, or if it doesn't, why not? And what I've done is set up a Google JamBoard, and I will show you that in just a second, but we can each kind of go in, depending on your computer availabilities. You'll be able to click on the Jamboard and you can write things, or you can draw things, or you can just share and talk to each other in the shared rooms. Raphael, I'm thinking maybe if we did just
20 participants.
Yeah, but I want to have it so that like folks can interact with each other. So maybe we could just do four breakout rooms of 5 people each.
Okay.
Just to give people that opportunity to talk. So while Raphael's going to set up the breakup rooms, I'm just going to show you all. Oh dear, the Zoom window is blocking my browser.
Are you going to give us the link to the
Yes,
the Google?
yes, I'm going to give it now. And can you see that? I think you can see. Pardon, Leila?
Hello. With the breakout rooms, I know Steve Perry. I'd like to maybe join him because he's the only guy that I know.
Okay, I can try to make.
Because I work with him. I don't know anyone else.
No
Okay,
problem.
I try to put Leila with Stevie.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have 4 breakout rooms, And so this Jamboard, as you can see, there are 10 because there are 10 principles, but maybe the breakout room that you go into, the number of that breakout room, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, or 4. You could just click on the Jamboard for your room number. So group 1 would be principle number 1, group 2, principle 2, group 3, number 3, and group 4, number 4. And so that's how you navigate through, just clicking through them there. And I'm going to show you actually, I'll show you on number 5 instead, so I don't make any space. But if you want to add, for example, the orange box with the question, that's the question that you're trying to answer. And when you go into the Jamboard, you can use the pen tool, so you can like write like that. There's an eraser, so you can erase what you drew. There's the sticky note, and that's where you can add, for example, your idea. So how does it apply to your own work? It applies ... And then when you click save, it goes right onto your board, and then you can kind of move it around. You can add pictures. So if you have pictures either on your computer from the web, you can do that. And then there's just some shapes. So if you want to draw shapes, you can. And then there's a text tool. So if you click, you can just type in, "Hi, how are you?" But to answer the prompt, for example. And there's this laser tool, which all it does is allows you to point to the content you're looking at. So hopefully in each breakout room, one person could maybe share their screen, and then you could do the Jamboard all together and talk through some of those ideas. So I'm repasting the link. Does everyone feel good about going into these breakouts now? And hopefully somebody from each group, I will pop into the groups, and I'll give you 15 minutes because we still have about 25, which is great. So 15 minutes. And then at the end, what we'll do is like a report back. So maybe choose one person in your group to kind of say, give a summary of the conversation that happened in the breakout rooms. Does that sound okay? Hopefully.
Okay. I will open the rooms now, okay, Victoria?
Great, yeah. And I'll jump into your rooms, and when the room pops up, you just have to click accept to go into your breakout room.
Okay, let's see if it's gonna work out. 1, 2, 3 now.
Where's Steve Perry?
Layla, have you said yes? I put you with Steve.
Which room? I'm a bit lost.
Don't you have an option there to say yes to enter in the room, the Zoom room? Oh, yes. So Chloe, welcome. We have started already for around 40 minutes, and now they are in the breakout rooms.
Oh, okay.
So it was already introduced, the idea of design justice by Victoria. So now they are commenting on the principles of the design justice in small groups. So I'm wondering, do you want to join one of the groups, or because you might be a bit out of clue, right? You just
I'll join one of the groups. If that's okay.
I will try to. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Have you said yes for your room? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what room I'm in.
Oh, have you had? There is one option to say yes to enter in the breakout room. I will try to sign you again.
Now, Morris, I don't think you're a big silver lover, are you? No, I can tell. It's a bit dirty.
I know Steve.
Yes, yes, you are with Steve. So can you try to say yes to the? I will put you again in the.
I spoke to my manager.
I have tried to put you with Steve. So.
Throw him. I couldn't believe it. I thought, no, there's some value here. What's really interesting, first of all, we've got certain clues as to its
Trying to put yes in.
And of course, this
yeah.
silver trophy, it does read
It won't go on to that.
Athletic Club, the tennis section, ladies single challenge cup. So we know it's a tennis trophy. Right. And on the back, we've of course got all the winners who won this silver cup of cover running from the year 1928.
Trying to put in yes in there.
No, you can take your time. I'm just gonna. We are live here, so I will just mute.
He went full time, or she went full time. Right. Incredible. So a fine player. And of course, I suppose in the history of tennis, this goes back to the time of Fred Perry, that great British. The name.
Hello, Peter. I will try to put you again, so you can check if you can join. Otherwise, we come back in 7 minutes with everybody in the same room.
secondly, they went with a purpose. So sometimes.
Were you able to join? No, not right, Peter.
I'm trying to join.
Okay. Anyway, in 7 minutes we are back again with everybody. So, but I will try to move you again. Let's see if it's gonna appear there too. Oh. Hello, Victoria. Have your computer freeze or?
No, I clicked leave meeting instead of room.
Okay.
So I felt so embarrassed. I was like, oh no, I kicked myself out.
Yeah. Now we are. It's 7:45. They are in the. Do you want me to send you to any room, or I'm gonna make you co-host again, or do you want to come back with them in the?
No, you can make me a co-host again. And what I will do is just maybe you can send a reminder to all the breakout rooms right now, saying you have 5 minutes left. Is that okay?
Okay. It's in the broadcast message wall, right?
Yes.
You have 5 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
So you have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Then we join. Yes, I sent to them. You have 5 minutes. Okay. So around 7:50 we come back. I close all rooms.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Just to make sure we don't have what's the word, like people waiting for too long. Oh my goodness, enough time to come back and report back. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, yeah, I guess it's gonna be fine. 7:50.
Yeah. And I think we are still live on Facebook right now.
Yeah, so it's only you and me, yes.
Yeah, I'll put this screen so hopefully it makes sense to people.
Yes, yes.
Or I can go to maybe the next, oh, wrong direction. That'll be the next slide.
Yes. So in 3 minutes we come back.
Perfect. Oh, Raphael, I just realized that some people had sent me a private message, and because I left, they are gone now. I'll just tell them to send it again because I lost them now.
Yeah, we can comment in the end if they have something to share with you. They can send an email, or I have here the chat, but just the message for everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, but if it was direct to you, maybe it lost it.
Yeah.
Lost. Well, I don't know if the Zoom actually if it's saved for you. Usually, I'm not sure.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, but maybe you can comment on it and they send to you.
I will. Yeah, I will.
So 2 minutes, we are back.
Okay. And I saw people were doing or typing things, so it looks good.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'll keep this one up.
Okay, can I close now? It's 10 to 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Let's go back. Oh, actually, it gives 50 seconds, so I should have done.
Yeah.
1 minute
No, it's
before.
okay. It's okay.
They are coming back soon.
Yeah. I'll put the next screen on then, because they'll come back to reporting back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It'll take just a minute for everybody to get
Yeah,
back. in.
20 seconds now.
Okay. Oops.
Can I just ask, because we put our notes on the board. Will you be sharing the board? Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, I will. I will.
Probably won't remember what we've written.
Yeah, no problem. Just another couple seconds until everybody else gets back in.
Yeah, now we should be all back.
Yeah. And one small note, I'm so sorry. So instead of leaving the breakout room, I left the whole meeting. And so I lost the messages. I think somebody had asked for an email address, and I think someone else was just saying, like, how does Design Justice Principles connect? So if you want to send me another private message, and what I also did was pasted the email and the various social media links, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm very sorry I did that.
Victoria, I left my room. I was with Steve, and now I'm back here.
Yes, because we are now all coming back together.
Oh,
and
okay.
Okay.
We're going
We
to
were
talk about-
abducted. We were abducted, Layla.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah, so now we're just going to share with the group, and I'll give each group maybe just 1 minute if you can say kind of the highlights from the discussion, just because I don't want to keep people past the 1 hour. I will stay on longer, but I don't want to keep you with that expectation. So I am on slide or principle number 1. So is anyone from group 1 able to present a couple of the highlights of what you talked about?
I wrote sticky notes. Where are they?
I don't see any.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of sticky notes.
Is this the right, is it the principal, or maybe it was a different one?
Try to update the page.
Ah, that might be it. Aha. No, I don't see any. Do you want to share your screen?
Oh.
Or how about I'll go to group number 2.
Either that or
and we'll come back.
either that or just let the okay here. Well, can you see it now? No, that's not mine. That's not ours. Okay, either
Okay.
that or we could just have the two people that's everybody spoke.
Oh, is it this one? Is it this one?
Could be.
This was the funny ones.
Oh, that's not ours. No. No, that
Okay.
wasn't ours.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is
Yes,
it?
I
is.
just make it. I'm making it a bit bigger so you can see.
Okay, so how'd it wind up on page 5 then?
Go for it
think
anyway.
because I
Okay,
gave you the link.
the three of you that spoke while I typed, why don't you explain your sticky notes?
I'm quite happy to do that, Cindy.
Thank you.
Yeah, we was talking about basically with the design of our using design in our projects to sustain, heal, and empower communities. We involve people who attend our projects in the actual design and the building of those projects. We make it very person-centered. We employ something called co-production.
Yeah.
It just simply means people working together on an equal basis. So I think that's how we use design within our projects, and that's an empowering action, sort of like that, you know, people working together to build the actual projects that they attend. It's more of a it gives a feeling of belonging, I suppose, as well as anything. So like, yeah. And Knisley was saying something very similar about the group she works in.
About her church, yeah. Knisley, do you want to tell about it yourself?
Sure. So what I was sharing is that we work with several communities. And each communities have somewhat similar but pretty different needs. One is an online community, and two communities are physical communities. And what we do, we look at all the needs of the communities, whether it's physical and psychological healing, empowerment, liberation, or really pulling apart the different oppressive systems that sort of keeps them bounded, like food deserts, food swamps, just overwhelming numbers of incarcerations. And we try to provide, as we create events and content for online and groups and all of that, with specific needs for the people and not necessarily what we think they should have. So we do include their needs and what they're facing in the moment to be relevant.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing group 1. I moved to group number 2 now.
Okay, so we were just talking through about things like Bonnie was talking about strengthening people's voices is important when you're dealing with groups who are disempowered. And she was talking about indigenous groups in Ethiopia who can personally be at risk when you challenge the status quo and you get people to speak up. For myself and Keith, we were talking about self-directed support, about people with disabilities being in charge of their lives, being at the center of kind of what we do every day. We're also, Kiki, who's going into a design course, was thinking deeply about the whole process of design and end product. And it's a deep process. She hasn't quite decided where she's going to end up yet, although she's found out she's just down the road from Bonnie. And then we had Jordan, who was talking about the racial bias algorithms in tech software and how that can result in some false positives when dealing with people of color. And has anything got anything else you want to share from group 2? No.
All right, thank you. I'll go to number 3, group 3.
Sure, our group had a great conversation. We talked about taking care of relationships, that's what this kind of reminded us of, that we're looking to take care of the way the community, whether that's your geography or your affinity group or something like a faith-based group or enthusiasts of old cars or something. We talked about how the word community comes from Latin co, together, and muneris, which is like money, resources, and gifts. So together with gifts. And so if we're taking care to include everybody's perspective and gifts, then we are really building the community. We said all people should be heard, and users can come together, trust in professionals, but be ready to make reasonable compromises and pay attention to the community as it incorporates the creation of the earth and the natural world as well. And anybody else from group 3, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I have been working for many years as a customer service / designer. And one of my jobs was to find a solution for the needs. And usually people had some kind of idea what they are going to promote or ask or buy. But as they were not professionals, it was my job to find the best possible solution for them. And usually it involved a lot of talking until I understand what were their needs, and then to produce a workable solution that was usually better than they had in mind already. And all this takes time, listening, thinking, planning. But when you are doing all this, it saves time, money, effort when you start to do the correct thing from the beginning. and not going back and forwards and changing the plans or productions or whatever during the time. So in my
Thank you so much.
opinion, everyone is understanding the target is kind of the most basic thing in the group effort.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Group 3. I'm not trying to rush anyone. I want to just make sure Group 4 can go quickly.
Yes.
And so whoever's from Group 4, would you be
We
able
are
to?
Group 4. Michael, do you want to do it? Or do you want me to do it, Michael?
Yeah, we could be okay, Michael. You do it.
Okay, I'll do it quick. And if I miss anything, you guys have to let me know, okay? Everybody's to let me know. So let me get to, shoot, I gotta get to the screen. Okay, human rights and equality apply when we link. Let's see, stigma and hate. Okay, this is Michael. So human rights and equality apply when we link to help for those that have barriers. Stigma and hate crimes, we raise awareness and get people together to tackle disinformation. That's in Michael's work. And then, no, it wasn't Sunil. I'm sorry, who was the second person, not Raphael? Well, do you remember who it was? It was, hold on, 1 second. I'm just getting the name of the person who did it. Nathan. Nathan did, I built security software, so the process is collaborative, that we ask the customer to help us in the usage of the software, like how to use it, and as opposed to just delivering the final product. I also talk to people about social justice issues, as well as, there's more, but then it's cut off. And equality issues, and check in with people where they're at and learning from each other. And then Sunil, I don't know why your first one's not there, but lectures designed to reach students who are more bright than others, as well as engaging students that are not at that level. So the lecture reaches everyone. And that was talking about designing a lecture so it's more inclusive. Here's Sunil. Everything I do is designed to design justice. Everything I do is to bring equality to those that are the least equitable among us. Environmental governance is about design justice. And then Mehdi and us, we said we do theater, so most of our productions and workshops is a collaborative process. We choose a subject matter that we then design the final product together. The actors get to choose their characters and help us design the entire production. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Group 4. Thank you to all the groups and to all of you for participating. I posted some of the links and contact information into the chat. Here's the slide for reference of the various ways to connect on social media, email. If you want to sign on to those principles or become a Design Justice member, which I didn't mention, but there's that information. And I pasted the slides in the chat. So if you want to look back, all of these links and references are there. And I think Marcus will probably close us off to announce the next session.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Let's design justice and design a future together. Me and Victoria, we are planning action for next year and building relationships with your network and nodes, and hope to see you again and everybody in that movement, also in ours. Next week we have a very special Action Monday together with journalist, BBC producer Erika Benke. We have a look at the Finnish income experiment, and this basic income is a theme that we have had many times this autumn and probably next year as well. So thank you, Victoria. Thank you everybody for joining today, and see you soon.
Marcus, we have to do the host. Raphael, can you choose a host for next week?
Yes, let's see. Kiki, can you join us
happy
next?
to be in it.
Sorry,
Cindy.
Cindy.
I
Oh,
said
Cindy,
I'm happy,
yes.
I'm happy to be it because she's my friend.
Okay, Cindy.
Thank you.
It's gonna be you for sure now.
Kiki can be next time.
Yes, Kiki, you are welcome. You are new here, I guess, right? But you are welcome to join us. It's gonna be very
Yes.
interesting, the next meeting.
Usually they pick on the new people, Kiki.
Yes. But the Cindy is our host next. Thank you.
Okay. See you next week then.
Have a
Bye,
great
everybody. Thanks
Bye.
for everything.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much,
Bye.
Victoria. It's
Thank you,
wonderful.
Victoria.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Victoria.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.